If someone could mute, please. Anyone that just joined.
I just joined.
Okay, if you could mute yourself, or if the library could please mute this person. So if Irondequoit Public Library will let me know if we're ready to start, and I will get started. Just looking at my messages here. Great, thank you. All right, this is Thomas MacEntee coming to live from, believe it or not, I'm usually in Chicago, and unfortunately my video on my laptop is not working. Otherwise, you'd see my ugly face and proof that my mother was correct when she said I had a face made for radio and a voice made for print. I see some familiar names on the webinar tonight, but seeing me is not important. You want to see the content that I want to share. Normally I'm in Chicago. That's where my home base is, the left coast, but I am in Southern California for the next week. I've been here at my second home, just enjoying the sun and taking a mini vacation. We're here for Got Photos, creating keepsakes using family photos. I'm really happy that the library picked this topic. I think it's the perfect time. Here in the US, as the weather starts to get a little bit cooler, October is Family History Month. People will hopefully start scanning photos, and you might want to think about creating some gifts for giving away during the holiday period that involve family history and family photos. So I've got some great inspiration here, some great ideas. There is a handout that is being posted. The link should be posted in the chat, the downloadable, and I'll ask the library to post that occasionally, because as people come in, they won't see the previous chat. One thing I do want you to know is that the handout is my intellectual property. It is copyrighted. It is for your own personal use. It's got some great links in there. In fact, a lot of the images, the ideas, the inspiration, you'll see a few articles where I got that from. Now, one thing I do want to point out about my handout is I'm a big supporter of public libraries, historical societies, genealogy societies, and their newsletters. I used to be a newsletter editor. I know what it's like to scramble for content. So if you belong to any of these groups and you know that they're looking for content, have the newsletter editor email me at highdefgen@gmail.com. My email is also on the first page of the handout, and I will also display it again at the end on a slide. I also have 40 other articles covering different genealogy topics, and these are free for for society and organizations to use in their newsletter. So let's get going here. And so why do family photos matter? I mean, that seems like a stupid question. I will let you know, I'm originally from New York, from Sullivan County, down in the Catskill area, and that's where I grew up. I started doing genealogy. I have been doing it for 47 years. I started at age 14. I was staying with my great-grandparents in Sullivan County, and we were watching the miniseries Roots. Many of you probably remember that in 1977 in January. And we would turn the TV set off and talk about our own family history. And then I asked for photos. And here's an example of one that I love. This is my grandmother, Anna Mae Henneberg, born 1912 in the Bronx. These are her 8 daughters. My mom is down here. Here's Patricia, and then Josephine, Eleanor, Joan, Kathleen, Jacqueline, Barbara. This should be Judy, Julia, Jennifer. Nope, this is Jennifer. And I know that I'm forgetting one, but it's amazing. There were 12 kids. I just don't know how my grandparents did it. This is one of my cherished photos. You can see it's got a few wrinkles here. I have scanned it, I have digitized it, but this is the thing we're talking about. This is what really, if you've been doing genealogy research, and when you pull out the family tree, I don't know about your family, my family scatter like roaches, but if I pull out family photos, and I tell the story behind them, then they really get excited there. And so if you've been at a loss of what to get a family member when it comes to gifts, this is really going to help you get some inspiration. Some of these solutions, you'll be able to just upload a photo and order online. A few of the others, you might have to get a little bit crafty, and people like to do that. I know that. Here's another one. Don't you love this? This is from probably about 1924. It is my grandfather, Alfred Austin. And there he is with his, it was called a Buster Brown haircut. And he was born in 1916. And this again is one of my cherished photos here. And finally, this is me. This is an old recovered photo. It's got some damage over here on the right. But here I am, 3 months old. I was born in December of 1962 on Christmas Day, in fact, and firstborn. And here's my mom holding me. So what I actually did with this is I created a poem. I wrote a poem about my mother's Alzheimer's, which started at age 59. And I took this photo. I had a reprint made, and I put it there as part of it. And it's called That Month of Three, because I was in my third month. And so this is really what I like to do when I'm sharing my family history. Remember, for me, it's about leaving a legacy. After 47 years of doing this, if I left my family to their own devices, they'd probably throw all my research out. So
You know,
slowly,
his
if you
ways
could mute
are
yourself,
going to
if
stand
you
in the
could.
way of him doing it. 'Cause
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. When people do come in, I appreciate the library trying to mute people, and that is always very helpful. So what we're going to do is first, so as I was saying, this is a great way to leave a legacy. Okay, let's talk about some photo digitization best practices. Now, if you haven't been following these, don't worry. This is not to beat you up for doing it wrong or not doing it the best way. I had to learn this as well. But the goal is for you to go and take these family photos and to digitize them. Either you want to digitize them by taking them somewhere. You could go to Walgreens, you could go to Sam's Club, but guess what? You could also do them yourself. But maybe you don't want to buy a scanner. Check with the library. A lot of libraries, especially my home library in Chicago, has what they call the create space. I can go in and scan negatives. I can go in and scan slides. I can go in and get help on all of this, and I don't need to buy the equipment. But the whole idea is for you to actually get these in digital format. The nice thing with digital format too is if you save them to the cloud or a program like Google Photos, you have a backup in case there is a disaster. Right now, I am about 70 miles from the line fire you may have heard in Southern California. We saw it flying in to Santa Ana last week, and it was amazing. And when I lived in California, someone mute themselves. Sylvia, if you could get muted there. Thank you. Uh, if I lived in Northern California, I lived through the 1989 earthquake, the Loma Prieta earthquake, was working on the 38th floor. But after that, and with wildfires, I always had a to-go box at my door, and it had my family photos in it. So go ahead and get them digitized. Here are some best practices. Well, first off, I will tell you right now, when you start out on digitizing, make sure you prepare your workspace. And this means get rid of all liquids, which is really important. I'm going to take a little sip of soda here as we say that. But you want to really have a clean and clear workspace, no food, no grease, anything like that. Also, clean your scanner. Now, this is an old flip bell scanner. They don't make these anymore. I actually own a flatbed scanner that I bought on Amazon. It's an Epson. And let me go ahead and see if I can show it on here. I'm going to go ahead and let's go here. Let's go here. I'm going to do Amazon, and I'm going to do, it's called the Epson Perfection. Epson, not Epsom salts. Perfection V600 photo scanner. I know it's a little bit pricey, but this is a workhorse. The nice thing, folks, is this comes with holders, let's see, for slides. It will do slides. And so it will actually do slides and negatives and things like that. It is an amazing scanner. The reason that I order off of Amazon, and I'm not making any money off of this, I'm just saying it's the shipping is free over $25, and when it's easy to return stuff to Amazon. You know, when you go to Best Buy, they want to charge you or Staples a restocking fee, which I think is just crazy nonsense. Okay, but whatever it is, make sure when you start, clean your scanner, and make sure you know what to clean it with. Windex is not great. Usually they say just to take a microfiber cloth. Okay, you want to read the instructions there. Now, what I do is I use archival gloves. This is another thing that I buy on Amazon. They're cotton gloves. They run, you know, they're really priced very reasonable. You buy them by the dozen. This is the reason why. You should not be handling photos with your bare hands because you usually pick up oils and other things, and it can ruin the finish on the photo. And I've had this happen over time. The rule is for archivists is when you deal with pages and documents, no gloves, because you want to feel how tactile the item is so you can turn the page and not rip it. But when you're handling photos, slides, or negatives, you want to make sure that you have archival gloves. Here's another neat trick. My father-in-law served in the Korean War. He's 93, he's still alive, great guy. And what I did is I took some of his medals and I wanted to scan them. Well, when you have 3D items like jewelry or that, it doesn't always work well. Get a piece of dark fabric. I have a piece of black velvet that I put over the items, then close the scanner door, and it helps keep that ambient light from coming in, and the items scan a lot better. Also line it up. Now, this is an example here where you just put the photo right in the corner. With a big scanner, yeah, some people will just lay the photo anyway, haphazard, and say, oh, it's easier for me to do the photo editor software. No, it's not easier. It's always better for you to line it up the right way according to the guides on your photo scanner. And this is another one. This is what I did. Now, that Epson scanner I showed you, this is what it will do. You notice these are old Brownie style photos. Remember the Brownie camera? And the photos have the little crinkled edge. They run about, what is it, 2 inches by 4 inches, the photos. So I can put 3 of them on, and guess what? The Epson scanner will create 3 different digital images, image 01, 02, and 03. And then after that, I will actually go ahead and rename them. This is really great so that if normally I would put 3 of them on like this, and I'd have to go and make copies and crop everything out and do a lot of work. So scanners have gotten smarter. It's not just the Epson. There are Canon scanners. I like Epson scanners because they make the best scanners out there, and they're known for that technology. Also, what about those magnetic albums? Here's one that I had that I grew up with. Remember these? What a horrible thing from the 70s. What a horrible legacy. If I urge people, uh, just not don't mess with them. Take the page out of the binder and scan the whole page. Now, if you're really tempted to see what's behind that photo, here are 2 solutions. Number one, you should never microwave them. Someone said, yeah, put it in the microwave for 5 seconds. And then my head is like exploding. No. 2 things, believe it or not. One is dental floss. You want to get unwaxed dental floss, and you can put it under the photo and slowly drag it forward. That's my trick. The other one is you get these little spatulas, like chemistry spatulas. Let me see how they look on Amazon. I'm going to do a search here, and I'm going to do chemistry, or here, archival spatulas is what they are called. Okay, like this. They're just a little set of knives. And like this is the one that I own. They're actually surgical. Okay, they're metal spatulas, and they're various sizes, and they fit right under, and it's easy to pry things out. So those are my two tips for magnetic albums. Go for high resolution scans. This is one of my cherished photos, but unfortunately, I didn't do the scan. These are the MacEntee brothers on my dad's side, and those are all 7 boys. And I don't know if I don't think this is one of the brothers. I think that is one of the kids. It might be 6 brothers. And the thing is, a cousin of mine scanned this. She's no longer alive. I can't get my hand on the original, and she did a very low resolution scan. Most scans will go at 300 dots per inch DPI. I would recommend 600 DPI and save it as a TIFF file, TIFF. That is the best archival file format. When you save as a JPEG, JPEG is great and it's popular, but it compresses the photo. And you don't want to do that because over time it can lose resolution. This is another one that I urge you to do. Is you notice I've scanned here, and these are called master images. They're all TIFF files. So think of it this way. You scan it, you make a TIFF file, and you put the word master or original in the image name, and then you immediately make a copy, and you save that as JPEG. The JPEG is what you work with. The JPEG is what you use to create items. The JPEG is what you use to edit, to crop. This master file, you never, 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 never edit. So this way, what if you screw up and mess up the JPEG? What if you overcrop or do something, you change the color and you can't undo it? You can always go back to the master copy and say, oh, that's fine. I'll just delete that JPEG, save this TIFF as a new JPEG, and start again. All right. I have a lot of scans that I've done at family reunions and funerals where I'll never be able to scan that original photo again. So I always want to keep a master copy that I don't touch. I have to resist the temptation and always create a JPEG to work from. Also, think about using photo editor tools. This is not a sales pitch for MyHeritage, but I do want to show you that there are some great options there. Now you can do this for as a new user. If you sign up, you can actually do this for up to 5 photos for free. But look at this one right here. This is my oh, get out of here. This is my second great aunt, and let me show you the original. Oops, here we go. Come on, cooperate. There we go. This is the one I scanned and uploaded. Okay, so it's got all these creases, not great focus. And then you'll notice they've got these 1-button features like repair will take out the creases and pock marks. Enhance will actually zoom in the focus more. And then colorize. Okay, so this is what the after was, and I was happy. Oh, come on, there we go. I was happy with the results, pretty much. It's kind of weird on the color, but it did a great job with that. Also, one thing that I've discovered with MyHeritage, they have a new feature where they will give you an estimated date if you don't know the date of the photo. How do they do that? It's artificial intelligence. I talked to MyHeritage a few months ago and I said, so what's the deal with this estimated date? They say, well, they take your photo and they compare it to millions of other public domain photos at the Library of Congress in their database. And it looks for commonalities like hairstyle and jewelry and dress, etc. So I think that's a neat feature. But go ahead. It doesn't have, Ancestry has photo tools as well. I'm not wedded to just MyHeritage, but I wanted to show you that you should take, so you want to have the best possible image before you start creating stuff. Okay, you want a high density scan. You want it to be focused. If you want it in color, you can. I prefer to do mine. I'm not a big fan of colorization, but that's what you want to do. And also, please back up what you scan. Back it up to a cloud program like Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, did you know that you can store photos for free? If also Google Photos gives you up to 15 gigabytes of storage. Use a program like Dropbox, etc. But the thing is, I would never want them on my laptop in case my laptop gets stolen or it breaks or things like that. And then I lose all that work that I did scanning and digitizing. Okay, are you guys ready for the fun part? This is great inspiration. These are ideas, many of which I have actually created myself. And I just want you to think about the ideas and concepts. And by the way, you can go ahead and put in you can put in your questions if you have them at any time in the chat. You don't have to wait to the end, but I will answer them at the end. Okay, so let's go ahead here. Now, one thing that I like to do, and I do every year for certain family members, is I create a calendar. This is a calendar from Pinhole Press. I think they're still around. But what you can do is you can create 12 different pages with an ancestor's photo. Now, this one doesn't have it, but some calendars let you put in like birth dates, anniversaries, holidays, and it's a nice thing to do. Now, of course, the more count, you have two ways to do it in most of these sites. I know that Costco Photo is no longer, they're online only. They have an option, I believe. But Walgreens, Sam's Club, any place that does lets you upload photos. I create my holiday cards on Costco Photo Center every year. But what they do is usually they have it where the more you order, the price comes down per calendar. So just like you used to sell Girl Scout cookies, I used to sell calendars in Catholic school back in the 70s, and I take the orders from my relatives. And you might want to, so think about this now. So if you want to order and give calendars away, give calendars away as holiday gifts, this is a great option right there. Canvas prints. This is popular. I've done this. So what you do, this is from the Costco website. And I know I made some errors here, but you upload your photo, and I wanted a 12 by 16 canvas print. So it was 16 inches tall by 12 inches wide. A lot of these don't need frames. So, or they will put a black border around it like this, and they're very reasonable. This one was about $35. They've actually come down in price since then. And so think about that. I actually took my anniversary photo from the first date with my husband back in 2000, and we've created a print for our 25th anniversary that's coming up next year. So it's one of those things that you could do. Think about that. This is a great way. And people really love this, seeing a larger size of their wedding photo, etc. Greeting cards. Yes, you could do greeting cards. You do various greeting cards. This is a company out of the UK called Moo, MOO. Let me see if they probably went belly up. There we go. No, they didn't. So we're here. This is under the US. Yeah, here's US. And you can go ahead and create cards and postcards. I do my business cards from them. You can do a lot of different things. And so they have that available as well. Here are some cards that I created, and actually, this is what I put on the back of the card with my picture, and it said "Family is the story." And I created a series of 12 cards, and then I would order a box and give them away as gifts to family members. Holiday ornaments. Think about it. Now, if you do a Christmas tree or some type of either, Kwanzaa decorations or Hanukkah or anything, these are a few ideas. I like going to Michael's. Michael's is one of my favorites, and they have these cardboard frames. They have these are sold for lockets as jewelry, but they make good ornaments, especially. Now, you're going to say, okay, so what do I do? Do I use the original photo on this? No, you never use the original photo. This is where you're going to take a photo and either make a print yourself, but I find it's easier for me to take it to Walgreens, CVS, or whatever and have them make a print for me. There are some situations where you're going to have to print them yourself, and I'll show you one coming up in a minute. But these are great. These hang on a tree. This one is really elaborate die cut wood. Sometimes you can paint it, you can bedazzle it, put rhinestones, whatever you want to do. Here is uh, another version of that. Look at this one. This one is unusual. This is a plain glass ornament. They sell them at Michael's or at Hobby Lobby or wherever. Joann's, unless Joann's is closed, I don't know. What this person did is they took a favorite photo and they printed it on acetate, which is see-through film. They sell them for printers, for inkjet printers mainly. We're talking inkjet. And she did that, and she threw in some stars as well and put it in there. And, she just had to roll it a little bit to get it in there in the opening right here and put it like that. And I think that's great. And it's really a neat way to do that. You can put anything. It's almost like a snow globe. Great. MPix is another one that does ornaments, but there are a lot of places. I would just look for family photo ornaments on a Google search or a Bing search. Jewelry. And there's one thing that you can do is jewelry. Shutterfly. Shutterfly is one of the bigger photo purveyors. A lot of people don't realize that they sell. They let you make stuff and they will sell it like this. This is a charm bracelet. And they're reasonably priced. It's not expensive, but you go ahead and you upload your photo and you create like a charm bracelet. Here's another one I can create, and this is the photo of my second uncle with his World War I uniform for the Navy, and I can go ahead and make a bracelet and do that, and then I could order it and send it to one of his descendants and one of my many cousins. I have 41 cousins on my mother's side, first cousins, and about 87 first cousins once removed. And there's another idea. These are the ones from Michael's. These are, I think, hematite beads, or this is a leather strap, and they sell these little frames. This looks like it actually might be clear or it's printed on certain paper. And so you can get creative that way. There it is. And that's one of my favorite ones that my friend Diane made. I think this is actually pewter, and it's actually see-through. She's using it more as an ornament here. Photo books. Photo books are very, very popular. There must be at least 100 photo book vendors out there, various ones. This is one called My Publisher. This is the one that Ancestry recommends. They used to have their own service. And so this is where a lot of people will take family photos and put them together as a book. You can add text. You can add some of your research information. You don't have to. And they have templates. They have different sizes, different prices. A lot of them even have this feature. You set up what's called a store, and you can create the book and just have family members order them and pay for them. They pay for the shipping and everything. You don't have to take orders, okay? But I've done this for family reunions and for 50th wedding anniversaries, and this is a great way to do it. Some of them are just amazing, and it's almost like digital scrapbooking is what it is. Perfect. How are we doing on time? We are perfect. Great. Okay, what about fabric and quilts? I love this one, Spoonflower. Did you know that Spoonflower lets you print your own fabric? Now, this is one of my favorite photos. A second great aunt. Unfortunately, she was killed by a runaway car in the Bronx in 1925, but it's a great photo. And I can actually create fabric based on the photo that I upload. And you notice I can fool with the repeat. I can just have one center. They even do wallpaper and wall decals, and it's not bad. Now, these are old prices. I don't know how much it is now, but you basically choose the fabric type. This is a fat quarter. All my quilters know what size that is. So you could do any of that. And that's one thing that you might want. This is great for quilters as well. This way you don't have to transfer the photo, using an iron on or anything like that. Now, if you did want, though, here's an idea. Remember, we've seen this photo before. Well, this woman made this quilt. So my friend Diane, she bought, there's fabric that you can print on. It is 8.5 by 11. It is meant for inkjet printers, and it will go through and print on fabric. And that's what she did here. And she basically lightly stitched it and tucked it in on the back of the quilt. What she also did is, this is another one. She did this on fabric, and it shows the provenance of who made it and who received the quilt. Crazy Quilt was created by Agnes, I think, Lewis McComb Cayley in about 1885, just before William Robert Cayley was born. It was cherished by William Robert Cayley, then his daughter Agnes M. Cayley Miller, then her daughter Diane E. Miller Talberg, and Diane M. Miller, her daughters. I think this is great. This is really great. So that's another way, and they included family photo with that. What about family photo displays? Now, this is where you get crafty. This is where you have a lot of leeway. You will have to buy you'll have to buy the materials at your local craft store, order them online, etc. But the next few slides are meant for inspiration. Who says that they all need to be arranged and centered and spaced on a wall, and you're there using a ruler and everything? I can't be bothered with that. This is one of the displays that I've actually seen. I haven't done this one, but these are different types of mismatched wood frames. Here's another one, very common. Get these what they call invisible shelves. Get these Cornish shelves, which just sit there, and you put them up. And these are very lightweight photo frames. There's really nothing heavy here, and they make a good arrangement. And you could actually do this and put it in a kit for someone as a gift. Give them the shelf and the photos. I love this one. These are binder clips, and they're copper. They do sell them in different metals and different colors. And basically all it is these are printed on cards and put up here, and they just stand like that. They don't need any weights or anything. That's really a great look. I know that I've got some gold binder clips, and I did this based on this photo because I had never thought about that. So that's one thing as well. Here's another one. This is done on black velvet, and this is gold wire. And then these are those gold binder clips. And some of these look like they're Polaroid types, but these are all modern prints. Here one is a little plant. In fact, this looks, actually, it's not on velvet. This looks like it's just hanging freeform. And you can do that almost like within a shadow box. And that's a nice look. So you could coordinate this, do copper wire. You don't have to fill in every square like it's a Brady Bunch or anything like that. Now, I'm a big fan, believe it or not. This is someone's bathroom. I don't know if I would do a bathroom, but what this person did is they used blackboard paint, chalkboard paint. They painted their bathroom walls, and then they hung up these photos, and they put in the narration. They're telling this story. I think this is a great idea. And they write all of this. I guess that way they could change the display. very, very creative. This is in the guest bathroom of a friend, and I thought, yeah, this is just pretty amazing. And to learn more about the family, and so that's another idea. Is they do sell the chalkboard paint at Home Depot, at Lowe's, at all of those places as well. And here's another one. This person basically took probably I don't want to call it sheetrock. It might be canvas, it might be poster board, and uh, use chalkboard paint. You might be able to buy this pre-made, and went ahead and created a narrative family tree. It's not going to be the usual, where everything's spaced out, but it's in handwriting, and it looks pretty neat. This is more of a shabby chic. I see this is from a certain website called Your Home Based Mom, but there are a lot of these do-it-yourself family tree chalkboards out there. Put a nice gold frame around it. I love this. Uh, it's easy to go out and get some twigs. These are, I would call them photo tags. I know that that Michael sells them, but they're easy. They would be easier to do. I don't know how they must have pasted the paper on here, but you can do that and then punch holes in it, probably make your own tags. But look at that. That's really kind of neat. And the various sizes, the tonality of the photos. See, I like it when it's all one color. I tend not to mix color photos with black and white photos. What about a picture frame memory wreath? Aha, that's great. This is from another one of those sites. But what they did is they took a styrofoam frame, or this is a twig. I can see it's grapevine in the back. They bought a series of these silver frames. Now, they probably use wire. I don't think they would use a glue gun on this, but they probably use wire and wired them and overlapped them. That's another option here. And they're all black and white. That's one of the things you tend, if you want to go color, then go color. I would keep the frames all the same color or metal color type, but you see that some are matte finish, some are really highly finished, but it's a good look. This is one of my favorites, especially if you have a relative that was a great cook. These are old quiche pans or pie tins or tart pans. And personally, I would probably have photos of my great grandmother cooking in the kitchen. I have a lot of her photos. You could put a recipe up here. These make a great display in the kitchen. Again, you never want to use original photos. You want to do things that you print out yourself or probably print Kinko's. Well, there's not Kinko's anymore. It's FedEx Office here in the US. They actually will print to different types of materials and different sizes as well. But what a great look, and great look for a kitchen. And this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. Look at the recipe. It's all smudged. It's got stuff on it. But I would intersperse these with the photos. Some of my great grandmother's favorite recipes. My mother-in-law was born in Greece. I have her Greek recipes for baklava and all of that, and I could do this. But again, it's one of those ways you could give these as gifts, or you can put them up in your own kitchen, and you know that your family's going to talk about them when they come over. All right, you want something stunning? This is pretty stunning. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So this person took a dress form, and it's a wire form. I like the parasol. I don't know if I would do the parasol at the top, but they took all these photos and I believe that they stapled them probably to the dress skirt and overlapped. Now, for me, of course, I have digitized photos. If I don't want to say that these aren't special, but the thing is, I wouldn't put some of my most cherished photos like this. One thing I do have is I have a great aunt who in the 30s was a clothes horse. I must have 500 photos of her in different outfits. And this is something that I would love to do. They're all about the same size, those brownie photos. Here's another version of this. This was an event, and here it is. This is a small, you can buy these at the craft store. They do sell these smaller mannequins. They sell them on Amazon too. Hold on a minute. Amazon does sell them because I know that I bought one. And wire display mannequin. There we go. And they do, see? Full size like this, or you can get desktop size, etc. And they do sell them. And so that's one of those things that you might want to think about. Really, it's very, very unique. I love the touch here with the flower, and they've got feathers up here and a belt, etc. Family photo blocks. I used to play with wooden blocks as a kid. Well, this is new. Uh, if someone in your family is a wood crafts person, like my father-in-law used to be, they can make these blocks for you. But again, there's basically, and they sell these kits as well online, as well as hobby stores here. And you basically put in the photos, you paste the photos, anything like that. Great. Here's another one, simple and easy family photo blocks. So these are just blocks of wood that have been sanded. They've been painted distressed. You want to do things like maybe some burlap here, some nail heads. And this one just has wires poking out as they're holding the kids' photos. What about buntings? Well, this is what a bunting is, if you remember those. These are kind of fun. These look like they were stitched. Someone handy with a sewing machine could do this, I guess. I don't know that you can order this. This is not my creation. But the thing is, I thought that this was great. Be great for a family reunion to do something like that. Here's another simple way of doing it. They took an old window frame with the coat hooks. And what they did here is we're talking plain old clothespins. There's uniformity in the size of the photos, and they're all color, so that kind of helps. But that's really kind of neat as well for a bunting. And here's one. This is done within like a shadow box. So basically rope or clothesline. These all are made to look like Polaroids. There are wooden clothespins. I know that Amazon sells gold clothespins, mini wooden clothespins, especially for these types of photo displays. Uh, Jewelry, purses, and glass. Now, if you've not been amazed so far by some of these ideas, and we're going to come down to the end here pretty soon and finish up, and I'll try and answer your questions. Look at this. This is one of my favorites. This is an elaborate necklace. So these are all those types of locket frames that you get at Michael's, etc. Can you imagine wearing this at a family reunion? I don't think that every woman could, or every person could, but basically they took the time to string, some chain and everything, and talk about walking around with your ancestors. Oh, a great idea. Have you ever seen old watches, or you have inherited old watches? I have a friend that makes these as bracelets for people. You send in the photo, and if you have a sentimental watch, or you go to thrift stores, you go to flea markets, and this is a great way of creating a bracelet out of an old watch. And look at these photos. Look at these. These must be from the 50s or 40s. What the person did is they put in, this is a wedding, and the couple had gone to Paris on their honeymoon and did it this way. And you can actually just set this out. You could put it on a display. Hell, you can put it on the mannequin as well. But I thought this was great. And, especially if you remember your grandmother wearing these glasses, or your great grandmother. And purse forms. I remember these because my great grandmother used to do doilies and lace making and crocheting, and they would use these metal purse forms. I guess they do sell them out on eBay, thrift stores, but these are the standard, the carte de vis. This is a certain size photo, and you can trim them. Now, these are the original photos, but you can trim them to go right in there. And I think this is perfect. Slide in. Now, what do you do with all those slides and those negatives? Well, what about this? Here is a lampshade that someone made. Now, what it is I can tell that there's a lighter lampshade behind it. So the light probably is a bright light that shows through, but it is just strips of film and put up there. And that's one way to do it. Here's another way. You can actually take the old slides with the paper form around them. This is how they were developed, for those of you that don't remember slides and slide carousels, and create a lamp. Photo jars. I had never seen this before, but here's a photo jar. This is an old mason jar. Person put a piece of fabric there and put an old brownie photo. You could actually if you wanted, put in a piece of old jewelry related to the person. There's a lot that you could do here. Anything that's sentimental, and there's probably a label at the top, but it's a way of encapsulating a story. Here's another one. These look to be old milk bottles. Put rope around them and put the photo right in there. Now, family photo storytelling. We're coming to the end here, but let me show you this. I love this one. I think that someone had a sense of humor here. A little bit of shabby chic, and they painted this white, and they put all this around it. But I thought this is great. This looks like it's from a file drawer. So if you've got a lot of little gadgets like that, I know that that's fun. Here's one. This is an Altoids tin. An Altoids tin, the person painted. They put in some jewelry. They printed this out with an old postcard. They put in shells, and then they put in a photo. It's a perfect little memory box. Here, if you have someone that did doily and lace work, like my great-grandmothers did, you can actually print a photo on fabric and stitch it in there. Because I know I'm not using all those, and then you could put this up in a display. Speaking of which, look at this old mirror with a photo. Look at these metal trays with photos. Plates with photos. This is a creamer with photo in it, and then hung on a wall. What do you do with stuff for dad? I think this is perfect, especially if, like, my father-in-law used to do a lot of woodwork. Here we've got a plumb pendulum. We have looks like a putty type knife. Yeah, we have all of these tools. I remember these rulers. Now, this looks like it may have been professionally done, but you could do this yourself with burlap, with the photo. Here's a hammer. That makes a great display and a great gift. Here's another one for women. This is definitely a shadow box. There's a purse. There's a doily. There's jewelry, an old pair of gloves. I know we're all sitting on those as well, and photos. Nice white frame. Now, this one, I thought this was unusual. This person basically, they had I don't want to say wart, but it's a little bit bizarre. But basically, she's telling a story through what I call ransom note print, where you cut these out or you print them out
Sorry, I
yourself.
missed 45 minutes of this class.
If you could mute yourself, please. Great.
What are you doing?
Are we all muted? Okay, thank you. So that's one thing she did. All three of these kids unfortunately died in the 1918 flu epidemic. Here's one. She had an ancestor that fought for the right to vote. So she put this together. It looks like she made this in 74. But again, cutting all of this out from magazines and pasting it around the photo. Here's another one. First in my family to immigrate to America. What a great photo. It is colorized. So took the photo, printed it out. I really like this concept. I know it takes a lot of work to do this, but if you're the crafty sort, you can do that. Here's another one, left at the altar. I don't know if I would do this one, but there's got to be a story behind this. And the woman that did this, I talked to her. She said, I wanted something where when people would come over, they'd ask the story about these people. Well, how was she left at the altar? Who is this person, etc. Well, I want to thank you for being here. We're about right on time. If you do have questions, I will answer them from the chat, but also here is my email address. You can always send me an email. I know that sometimes a question does not come to us until a few hours, maybe even a few days later. And also, I'm going to make sure that we have the syllabus here, and I'm going to go ahead and do this again in everyone here in the meeting, and there we go. Here is the handout for those of you that came in late. And thanks, Elaine, for saying about the ideas. Lauren has a question. If you upload a photo to MyHeritage and they repair it and colorize it, do you then save that final photo as a new master image, as a TIFF or a JPEG? Well, you can download it. So let me show you, Lorene, on how MyHeritage works there. Here it is. Oops, I want to do that. And I want to do this. There we go. Perfect. So here, I colorized this photo of my second great aunt. And over here, I have the ability right here, damn it. Sorry. Let me go. Oh, okay. We're going to do all that. So hold on a minute. There we go. So right here, I have the option to download the original that I uploaded, download the improved photo, which is this, or a comparison. What I would do personally, I would download the improved photo down to my hard drive, and then I would save that. Then save it as a TIFF image. These are saved as JPEGs. These are saved as high resolution JPEGs, but they don't give you a direct option to do a TIFF. So let me go ahead and answer more questions here. Great. And everyone's saying thanks for the information, and that's good. And right, Elaine is great. Is right. That is a great scanner, the Epson scanner. So the thing is, go ahead and get started now. I'm gonna warn you. The holidays are closer than they appear, believe it or not. And I know they start pushing this on TV already. But if you want to create something, like I've shown you tonight in the presentation, these take time. It takes time to order some stuff by mail. It will take you time to digitize and scan photos and to put them together as part of this. So thank you so much for being here. Don't be a stranger. Drop an email to me. And I want to thank the Irondequoit Public Library for this opportunity. And I hope to see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.